These are 10 keys to pulling off an all-day sit during the whitetail rut. Most hunters miss out on valuable opportunities because they're not willing or able to sit all day during the rut. And in this video, I'm gonna walk through 10 of my best tips to help you be able to sit from dark to dark. Make sure you maximize your opportunities during the rut. I'm a huge advocate of doing all-day sits in the rut. I've just experienced it time and time again that these bucks get up on their feet during the day and cruise in search of does. And I've even shot bucks in the middle of the day. So I do a lot of all-day sits. 2 seasons ago, I sat dark to dark 13 times, and on the 13th time is when I actually killed a buck. So you have to be willing to put time in the seat, but it will pay off if you put in the time. The first key to successfully pulling off a dark to dark sit during the rut is having a proper layering system. And I just made a video about this last week, so if you want, you can go ahead and check that out. But it is vital to be properly dressed for the whole day. A lot of times, especially early November, it might be freezing cold in the morning, and then by noon, it's 50, 60 degrees, and then by the end of the day, it's cold again. So you have to have a proper layering system that allows you to add and remove layers as necessary to make sure you're comfortable all day long. If you let yourself get cold, it's a surefire way to talk yourself into going back to the warm house and getting some hot lunch during the midday, and you're gonna miss out on those opportunities. Key number 2 in a similar fashion is making sure that your feet are warm. And that comes down to wearing the proper socks, having warm enough boots. And what I like to do is use Arctic Shield boot covers. You can put a hand warmer in them and your feet are gonna stay toasty all day long. Your toes are one of the first things to get cold when blood starts flowing away from your extremities. So keeping your toes warm will keep you in a tree longer. Another thing that will help keep your feet warm, especially if you're wearing rubber boots, is Lathrop & Son Synergy insoles. They're specifically designed to help insulate from the bottom, which is where you lose a lot of your heat. So I'll link those down below and you guys can check those out. Key number 3, and you'll notice a common trend here, is some way to add external heat. So I always buy bulk hand warmers from Amazon, and I always have some in my pockets, and I put them in again in my boot covers. But another thing that I like using is Numa's heated core gear. So they have a heated base layer. They come with rechargeable battery packs. They have pants, they have a shirt, and they have a muff. And that way you could press a button and get that warmth back into your body. One thing that I've noticed is once your core temperature drops below a certain point when you're hunting, it's really hard to stick it out. And it's really hard to get that warmth back. But having an external heat source, like either hot pans or Numa's heated core gear, it's gonna help you add warmth back into your body and stick it out on those long, cold hunts. And let's be honest, those cold hunts are when the deer are gonna be moving the best, so you really gotta do what it takes to be in the field. 4 is my personal favorite, and that's making sure that you have enough food. Whether you pack sandwiches ahead of time or whether you get creative and bring something else, it's critical to have enough food for not only snacks, but lunch. And I sometimes even eat a second lunch mid-afternoon. By eating, it's also gonna help warm me up from the inside out. It's also just something to look forward to. I carry lots of snacks. I like trail mix and jerky, things that I can snack on all throughout the day. And my go-to is normally just peanut butter and jelly. I just stick it on top of everything else in my backpack. Sometimes it gets smushed, but it always tastes good. It's always something I look forward to as I'm sitting waiting on the action. Key number 5 is having some sort of hot liquid, being able to warm yourself from the inside out and help fill your belly. So I either bring hot chocolate. I don't usually bring coffee with me, but I bring hot chocolate, or I'll even put ramen noodles in a Yeti Rambler. And one thing with the Yeti Ramblers that I picked up on is it helps when you heat water up, put it in the Rambler and get the inside of that thing piping hot, dump the hot water out and then put in your drink. And I actually learned that as a server at a restaurant a long time ago. When you first put liquid into a room temperature or cold container, a lot of that initial heat's gonna get transferred into warming that thing up. So if you can heat the thing up ahead of time, then pour your hot liquid in afterwards, it's gonna stay hot a lot longer. But again, that's gonna help warm you from the inside out, which again, everything so far is all about staying warm. Key number 6 is having a dialed system. So whether you're a tree stand hunter, a saddle hunter, or even hunting out of a blind, having a really comfortable system is gonna make a huge difference. I'm a saddle hunter. I like to bring knee pads with me so I can rest against the tree in a sitting position. And I switch between sitting and leaning to make sure I don't get fatigued. I can continue to change positions throughout the day, make sure I'm always ready and always alert. But by being able to stand up if you're in a tree stand and switch between sitting and standing, it's gonna help blood flow to your legs, and it's gonna help you get through those slow parts of the hunt. Key number 7 I don't know which way it's looking, 7, is to have some sort of distraction. And I don't encourage you to be on your phone scrolling from sun up to sundown, but it does help to be able to burn some time, especially when things are slow. But the problem is if you get too locked into, if you're reading a book or scrolling on your phone. I've even heard people put headphones in and watch videos. That's not something that I typically do, but you don't want to get so locked into what you're doing that you're losing track of everything around you. If I am on my phone, I'm looking at my phone for a minute, and then I'm looking up and I'm scanning all around me, and I'm always listening. Then I'll go back, look at my phone for a little bit, and I'm constantly surveying the area. So it does help to have some type of distraction, help burn time, because let's be frank, it's a long time to be out there. If you're gonna get into the stand an hour before first light and then be in there all the way till after dark, that's a long time. So you have to have something to occupy your time. Key number 8 is to have a power bank for your phone for that exact reason. And key number 7, you're gonna be burning through batteries sitting on your phone. It's good to be able to recharge it. That way you can stay in touch with your friends and your family. That way you can be checking your cell cameras and getting encouraged by seeing action in other places, getting texts from your buddies that are also sitting all day. It's just really good to have a power source with you so you never run out of battery, because you're gonna be real bored if your phone dies. Another reason to keep your phone charged up is if you do shoot a buck later in the day, you wanna be able to make sure you can use your mapping software on your phone to track that deer, or just to get yourself out of the woods back to your truck if you're on public land especially. Key number 9 is to not be afraid to make a move. Sitting all day doesn't mean you need to be in the same tree from dark to dark. A lot of times that's what I do, but sometimes I will sit till 11, 12, 1, 2, and then move to a different location. I like to spend my mornings in midday in and around doe bedding areas, especially trying to catch cruising bucks coming to check for hot does. But in the evenings, it is a lot more productive in many cases to be around a food source, because those does are gonna get up, they're gonna move to the food source, and those bucks know it. So that's what they're all gonna end up doing. So if you're not feeling it, you're not in the action, it can be productive to get down, move, go do some scouting midday, try to get into some deer. Having a dialed mobile setup like my saddle system that I run allows me to make a change and be set up in another tree in no time. Last but not least, key number 10 is just to have faith. It's really easy to get discouraged when you're on Instagram and everybody seems to be killing bucks. Your friends are telling you that they've seen bucks all day long and you have yet to have any action. But in the rut, things can change in a second, and having enough faith to believe that it's gonna happen is critical. So don't lose hope, have a positive mindset, and just know in the back of your head that it could happen at any minute, and your whole season can be changed in a matter of seconds. If you can lock in these 10 keys, you're gonna be able to sit dark to dark like a champ and make sure you're maximizing your opportunities. But if you guys wanna see 10 things that are gonna dramatically increase the quality of your deer season, check out this video right here.